I'm ready to pull the pistons out, ready to pull the rod mains out, ready to take the oil coolers, you know, the little oil jets that shoot up into the bottom of the piston, cooling nozzles they call them, I think. Ready to take those out. It's quite a messy job. You have to get under the truck, you have to look straight up. This oil is going to pour down in your face. Oil is going to pour all over you. It's one of the messiest jobs, or parts of the job, when you're pulling the pistons out. I bought me some of these throwaway, these are Tyvek or something, yeah. Some of these throwaway paper aprons to help me, so I don't get as nasty, and some gloves. And I got safety glasses on. I just want to remind everybody, this is not a professional video. This is not a how-to series on how to do this. This is just me taking my engine apart, working on my truck with some friends over at a friend's shop, and you know, we're just doing what we can to get this engine back running again. So I wanted to say that before I continue on. You know, I don't want people to construe this as a professional video or a, you know, how to. You should follow the manual. You should do it professionally. You should use a torque wrench on everything, obviously, and you know, use the book as much as you can, or the service manual, the rebuild manual. You know, we follow it pretty good. I try to do the best I can. You know, it's my truck. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that it's right. But, you know, Rawze isn't perfect. Nobody is. So we're just going to do the best we can. Continue to pull this thing apart. And then do what we can to get this thing back together and back on the road. So I figured I'd say that real quick in the middle of the series here, just to remind everybody. Okay, so now we're looking at the bottom of the motor. Behind cylinder number 6, the last one, and we're going to remove or loosen these cooling jets, cooling nozzles, piston cooling nozzles. That's the cooling nozzle there. You have to run the motor down to BDC for that piston to get to them, because otherwise the crank throws are in the way. But we're going to loosen this up, and it's going to pour oil pretty good. And we're going to go through and do all of these, and then we're going to go through and we're going to loosen all these up, the bottom of the rods, the rod caps, and let it finish pouring all the oil out of the bottom of the motor. You can see it's already dripping from where we just turned the motor by hand to get to this position. And this is a very messy job. So I'm not going to leave the camera under here, but I figured I'd show it and show what we're going to do next. So let me put the camera down and get under here and get to work. Alright, get this thing. Well, this is a messy job. Alright, now I have a 15-point socket, or a 12-point socket, sorry, 15 millimeter 12-point socket for the rod cap bolts, and we will break those loose, and those are quite tight. So I have a long ratchet, long handle ratchet. So we'll break these loose a little bit. Well, they are tight. Like I say, right now we're just loosening this a little bit so that it will drain oil. We're just kind of preparing it so we can take it apart. That's what I'm going to do anyways. This thing is dripping oil pretty good now. I got the cooling nozzle out. Got these out loose a little bit. We'll bring them down about A little less than 1/2 inch clearance in here to the heads. Yeah, about 3/8 or so. And I'm going to give them a little love tap with a soft hammer to separate the piston from the bottom of the rod cap, or the rod from the bottom of the cap. There it goes. Drop right down, and now it's loose. And you can see it's starting to pour oil pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take these out. We'll move this down out of the way, and then once we get this off and we let it drain, we can then push the piston straight upwards until it comes up out of the liner, out of the top. But before we do that, we need to clean the top of the liner so that we don't end up on the carbon ring up there. There's a carbon ring at the very top of the liner, and we don't want to try to push the piston past that carbon ring, that buildup of carbon at the very top of the liner. So we'll clean that off before we actually push the piston up through there. But I want to get this off of here so that it'll drain while we're doing that. That way we don't make a big mess, or it's less of a mess anyway. And I've got a pan straight underneath where I'm working here, so we'll get this bottom of the rod, or rod cap, off of here. It's a good thing I'm wearing my Tyvek suit. Good God, I'm getting oil all over me. Now I know why those guys charge so much money to do this kind of work, huh? Yeah. There we go. Let's see if we can get this off. Whoa, there we go. Lots of oil. Lots and lots of oil. Alright, and that's the bottom of the crank. And I see a little bit of shininess. Not too bad though. A little bit of glitter. I'm gonna lay this down. Alright. Huh?
How are things going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yep, I'm making a video, and I'm got the piston, number 6 piston loose. And I'm gonna take this, one of these bolts, and whatever you do not want to scratch this whatsoever. You don't want to ding it, you don't want to scratch it, you don't want to breathe on it the wrong way at all. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this bolt in here like this, and I'm going to gently tap on it to kind of separate the top from the crank, just a little bit there to finish getting the oil out of it. Let me see if I can get on this thing here. The camera's kind of in the way here. I'm just gently tapping on it there. There it goes. I'm holding up my fingers. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Got a little bit of clearance on it there. I can feel it go up. There we go. That came up. Just real gentle like. And now it's nice and loose. I could roll the bearing out of it. I could just push the bearing out of it. At this point, you know, use another bearing or use the bottom bearing and just push on it or something. And I could roll the bearing out of it, but I don't want to do that yet because I want to remove the piston, and I don't want anything to bang against this crank, because that would be very, very bad. So I'm just going to let this sit here like this for now, and then go and clean the carbon ring off the top of the liner before I can pull that piston out. So until we get that carbon ring cleaned off and the piston pulled up out of the hole, we won't be able to move the crank to the next position to be able to take the next jet or any of that stuff off. So we're kind of done right here down on the bottom for right now. I say I'm just doing this myself here. Just trying to follow procedures and best I can. Like I say, I don't do this every day. I know the guys that probably do this every day, they're probably better at it than me, but I'm just doing it my way. It's my truck. So let's go to the top of the motor and clean that thing up. All right, I got the rod cap loose and the bottom of the rod loose on piston number 6. But before I can pull it out, you see this, let me put the camera down. You see this carbon ring right here? That carbon ring is gonna give me trouble trying to get the piston up past it. So what I'm gonna do, what it says to do in the book, it says to use Scotch-Brite or something. I got a Scotch-Brite pad here. And I'm just gonna go in through here and I'm gonna clean, I've got some paper towels down in there to catch it. And I'm just gonna clean this carbon ring off before we try to get this piston up out of this hole. And it looks like it's gonna take me a little while because this piston was the worst one, with a little bit of carbon buildup in it. So I'm gonna do this, and we'll get it all nice and clean, and we'll come back. All right, so I've got this wooden dowel here. That it's an old broom handle that we've been cut off, and I'm gonna push this right here. You say get on the bottom of the rod.
Yeah, bottom of the rod.
Okay, and then the bearing wants to come out on me. So I'm going to push up on it. I'm going to slide this bearing out. I got to bang it a little bit. There we go. A little space. It wants to stay there, so I'm going to just support this and roll this bearing out. Okay, and I'm just pulling this bearing out for the first time. This is number 6, the one that ran a little problematic. And there's the bearing. Oh my God. Jerry, this upper rod cap bearing, there's a little bit of streaking in it, probably from when the engine was built. It looks brand freaking new. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. Holy cow. It doesn't even look like it's worn yet. You ever see one like that after 1,000,000 miles?
Especially with water getting on top of the piston.
Holy cow. That's supposed to be the worst one too, right?
Yeah, the upper one is the lowest, worst.
All right, now I don't want to bang this thing, so let's get it up out of here. I don't have a good hold on it, so I'm gonna grab it with my fingers and get on it better with the rod or the stick. All right, and I have a folded paper towel here, and what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna roll this paper towel in there as I push this up, just for safety. Get on this thing right here, so it doesn't bang if it does start to fall back down. All right, I got a paper towel above it, and I'm gonna push this thing all the way up out of the hole. Did it come out?
Yeah.
Is it sitting up there safely?
Yeah.
All right, so I pushed it out with my hands here.
Well, they normally don't do that either.
No, they normally got to bang on them. But I took some Scotch-Brite to the top of the liner really good, so it slid right up out of the hole. So it's actually sitting on top of the liner now. And you heard I heard a little bit of a pop when the rings let go. So now I know it's safely sitting up here. What we're supposed to do now is we're supposed to cover this this part right here, because this is extremely critical that you don't ever scratch it, bang it, nothing. So I'm gonna push this paper towel up in here and get it all the way around it like this. And the guys on the forum say that a lot of them use black tape or some kind of tape, but you say just use a pig mat? Oh yeah, that's really nice and thick. Let me just roll this thing up where it'll fit in there. And oh yeah, that's really thick.
Like a pillow.
Yeah, it's like a pillow. It's tough too. So I'm going to use a pig mat, and we're going to roll this up in here like this for safety. Yeah, but then how are we going to move the engine? I guess we need to tape it. Yeah, we need to tape it right here with you got some electrical tape? And then we can just put a little electrical tape around the outside of this and protect it, because we're going to be doing the rest of the engine. We're going to be moving this, so that looks good. Yeah, that pig mat worked perfect. It actually is the right length too. Let's see if we can get that on. Alright, so we'll go around this thing with some electrical tape just to hold that pig mat in place. Oh, that's easy. There we go. Where'd the tape go? There it is.
Yeah, but the reason for most of the time, the reason they won't push out rods is because it's got carbon packing on the rings.
Carbon packing on the rings?
And
all right, well, let's go to the top and let's look at the piston now that we have this one protected. Well, we got to do them all. I'm going to film number 6 because it's the hardest one. That's why we're filming now. And then if you want to do number 6, we'll do number 1 next because we're at the BDT on number 1. So we could do 1 and 6, and then what did you say? 2 and 5, and then 3 and 4. Okay, well, we'll do it in that order. All right, but we don't have to film every inch of every one of these. So, all right. So now let me grab the camera and wedge it up out of here. Turn it over the right way. And we're still recording here. Climb out of here. Yeah. My big fat butt. And let's look at the top. Alright, let's get the light turned on. Alright, so it has just come up out of the top there. How do we get it out of the hole?
I'm going to pick up on it.
Are you going to lift up on it a little more?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll be able to grab it.
So I'll be able to grab it. Let me set the camera down. That way I can grab it with both hands. I should have a pair of gloves on, but I'm not. Alright, go ahead and push it up. Yeah. These things are a little heavy too, so push it on up. There you go. And I'm going to grab it and take it up out of the hole. Yeah, I got it. Oh yeah. Quite heavy. Let's get the camera over here. There we go. And I've got this. Let's set it down here on the table. I got it. Well, let's look at the top of it. You see the top, you see the carbon. This was the worst one that was running, so it had a little that coolant. So, all right, cool. So let's get it.
Packing on the rings. That's the ticket.
A little bit of carbon packing.
No, none.
None?
None. Not in the gland.
None in the glands. I know we had a little bit of coolant intrusion, so that's caused probably this. We'll look at one of the other ones that never had coolant, never had that problem. The ring isn't broken.
That's your oil ring.
Oil ring isn't broken at all. It came loose when we took it out, obviously. A lot of times you see them broken here, you know, and then you'll get streaking up and down the cylinder walls after a while. You know, there's the bottom of the rod. And the rod bearing.
You see, it's clean.
The rod's perfectly clean, yeah. So
Is that new?
that literally that
but I mean,
tiny. I mean, just
that's assembly scratches.
yeah, assembly scratches, those streaks. But where's the other? Where's the upper? That's the lower. Let's put the upper right next to it. There's the upper.
There's your signs of moisture right there.
Oh, you got some signs of moisture in it. Yeah. And that's number 6, upper and lower. And it just looks so good.
No brass at all.
No brass, no nothing. I mean, you can still see the manufacturing when you run your hand this way, you can feel it's just not even, it hasn't even been polished yet. I mean, unless I'm wrong, you know, you take apart all kinds of engines. What do you think?
Yeah, them bearings are good. Usually
I mean, how many miles would you
600,
see? How many miles would you guess if you had to take that apart that this engine may have had?
I would figure this is 300,000 to 400,000 miles.
Really? So
But usually about 650, 700, you start seeing a little bit of brass.
you start to see a little brass on them. Well, we're gonna pull the rest. We're gonna find out. But this was the worst one.
This is the upper one. This takes all the beating.
That's the one that takes the beating. Wow.
And you see that's factory.
Yeah, that's factory. Those, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's factory there.
That's
okay,
factory.
yeah. So it's, you can start to see it's.
Yeah, I mean it's got a little discoloration, like from
Wow.
where it's stuck in the.
And this one is factory.
Yeah, they ain't got nowhere at all.
It's got 0. So. Wow.